Haven't I been saying to Pred from the very beginning, this smells like they knew something? And then after the Sonya, didn't I tell him about the Sonya conversation? There's no way. I did tell him about the I don't remember because he was gone for a while. Information Pred bin. Yeah. I told Tony at least. Yeah, I just hope that they realize that that's a key part of their investigation. The entire case can go to shit if they don't post any of the information surrounding the property itself. Because any information pertaining to the property itself is inherently exculpatory. And based on that Sonya conversation, it damn well supports the belief that they knew way more about it and they should have known about the warehouse, who was operating with it, etc., etc. It's so bad, man. It's just bad. It's just so bad. It's so bad. I will say that it's rather frustrating that you have a bunch of like idiots that inferred we're talking about anything other than fucking metagaming. You know what I mean? Like, no, motherfucker, this is just shit police work and everyone sees it. Oh. I don't know if Sonya told them specifics revolving around who exactly was aware. I don't even remember who she said was aware. I see. It's more the context of it all, right? When you analyze something, this got to come to when it comes to a defense attorney. Defense attorneys, in and of themselves, are good ones. In real life, and also that you'll find in RP, are in a way themselves investigators, right? Because what you're doing is you're analyzing the very evidence that the police are giving you, and then conferring with potential witnesses, etc., to get an idea of what may have occurred and what the outs are. And in having done so through this entire exercise, the first thing that's going to stand out is, why would you not raid the apartment? If you just purchased this, why did the police department not know? So then you ask the very obvious question of, wait, why didn't they do this? And how did this thing get targeted, right? Either A, it was done like swiftly. Why becomes the why is the swift. What was the motivating factor? And then when you start looking at it and everything just seems so targeted at the warehouse, you gotta ask, like, okay, did they know more? Did they just find out he purchased it? What was the thing? Well, it's not bank records, right? Right? It's not bank records. It's these other things. And why would they not like fully investigate this instead of pressing the button, right? And so, like, as we went deeper down, the entire suspicion around like this being malicious uncovered, like, wait a minute, they did know more. I mean, unless all the marshals aren't reading their own information, which is obviously possible, but it's crazy with the amount that were involved throughout this. They didn't. Yeah, it doesn't pass the sniff test. But we'll see as the story unfolds. I'm really curious. That's the thing that I'm so curious about and so excited to hear from the court case is like the production of like evidence surrounding this warehouse beforehand, and when that evidence is presented, like, or they ignore it, Like it may entirely be that they end up not putting, like, there might not even be reports, right? There's just, it's just, oh my God. I can't wait to find out. Maybe there isn't, right? It's just, and to me, having played an investigator so long, you know, on Brian, I can't in my brain, like, figure out how it's even possible. Yeah, I mean, it could be, it could be, Nino believes it's malicious inherently, right? But the alternative would be severe incompetence where there's not even internal oversight, right? It's like if even a singular marshal, right, was aware of the activity around it, and there's this huge high profile case and that information is not brought up internally, like, hey, this thing's been related with weed for a while now, that should raise a red flag immediately off the get. Well, that's an argument to be made for it, right? Well, that was the other massive red flag. It was like, why doesn't LSPD High Command know about these things? The problem is, and the way that Nino sees it, is that these are just, you know, the department's run by assumption. It's the antithesis of law and order, right? Running off assumptions, and there's just so much evidence backing that. It's not even a theory at this point. It's an MO. You told Daisy she's gonna get fired, right? Or this is definitely Preds, no other option. The thing is, if you are staunch on your first position, even despite new evidence presenting itself, that's not investigating. It also draws into question a more serious matter, which is, how do you then have faith in when it comes to like judicial matters? You know what I mean? And understanding the notion of like, just the knowledge of this information is exculpatory. It needs to be kept in. Yeah. Oh, this is gonna be spicy. I'm ready for this. I don't think he's making an announcement today. He might though. Bro, he might. I'm hoping people eventually catch up on your sleep. I genuinely do not understand the criminal mayor shit. Like I don't even think Nino, I don't even know how to make Nino feel offended by that. Because when Nino hears it, he's just like, oh, more poo poo pee pee. It's like someone coming up to me and saying, you're coming up to me and being like, you fucking Canadian devil. And I'm like, what? I'm not Canadian. Excuse, huh? You and your Canadian accent, Nino Chavez. What the fuck? Well, that's why the way that Nino reads it is severe incompetence. I mean, it really kind of establishes like Nino's original disposition, I'd say like 5 months ago, when he was met with the same. The problem is Nino thinks that to the very core of the police department, there is a cancer to civil rights, where the culture is to presume and believe and function off the notion that everyone is a criminal and your job is to throw them in jail, rather than the default of arriving at conclusions as a consequence of finding evidence. And while Den, as people say, at least says it out loud, Nino sees it in practice that while Den may be loud, at least he's loud. Whereas others believe and operate in that mentality in silence. Oh, let me see if I want to get changed. Oh, this is going to be fantastic. Wait, I'm going to stand here until Fred arrives. I would say Nino started feeling that way when he started to see civilians getting charged with felonies, without any, like, people were getting these fucking massive warrants that turned them into felons without it investigating. I hate that. I would say, I personally think there should be a policy that if someone is a civilian, you cannot, and you believe they're involved in a crime, before they charge it, I don't know. Yeah, like JJ, who are the sanitation workers? The sanitation workers one was the worst. Those are the worst ones. You have to be considerate of the OOC when you're a cop. You always do. How you doing?